Well, ladies and gentlemen, I made predictions in March or February, whichever month it was. I made predictions about the 2022 Formula One season, and let's just say things have gone very well, I shall say. But the 2022 season has been a season full of the Drivers' Championship. My my prediction to win the Drivers' Championship was Lewis Hamilton. Well, however, that did not happen because in the championship, Lewis finished sixth. Oh, that's not good. So already, just by the time we hit Bahrain or Jeddah, I knew I was in serious trouble. So Lewis Hamilton finished sixth. I mean, the W13 is a very terrible car, and it was, at least it's gone now, and I don't have to witness such an abomination in the sports history ever again. George Russell, I I made him second in my predictions. Well, he didn't do too bad. He finished fourth, which is decent. But George Russell tried. I mean, at least he got a win. Lewis didn't. But it's just how sports are. It's how F1 is. It's how F1 has always been. The luck can be on your side, but the luck can't be on someone else's side. So, yeah, George Russell finished fourth. Predicted him to finish second. Max Verstappen. Ho. I predicted him to finish third. He won the bloody title. So for Max Verstappen, it was a second Drivers' Championship, and what a weird way to get it as well. So we won't bring up that situation. We left that in October. Charles Leclerc, fourth. Well, yeah, that was terrible. He finished second, so my predictions are completely out of the window. But Charles Leclerc, I mean, he should have won the title at some point, but he didn't because of strategy, mistakes, reliability, and just different things, to be honest. And we all know what's been happening in 2022. Carlos Sainz, I predicted him to finish fifth, and that is where he finished. So that is the first correct prediction I've made so far. Lando Norris, sixth place. I was quite close because Lando Norris dropped back a place from where I predicted him to be. He finished seventh. He was the only non-Mercedes, Red Bull, and Ferrari driver to finish on the podium. He did that in Imola, a third place behind two Red Bulls. Daniel Ricciardo, I predicted him to finish seventh. He finished 4 places back in 11th place. Ricciardo has not had a good time in that McLaren, and to be honest, it wasn't that great of a car. I don't even know how he got on the podium in Imola. I think you could say it was luck for McLaren. Sebastian Vettel, I predicted him to finish in 8th position. He finished 4 places back, like Ricciardo, in 12th position. The Aston Martin, I can say the same as the McLaren and the Mercedes. Mercedes powered cars were they were terrible. They were pathetic in the season. That's a bit too rude, but they were not that great, to be honest. Sergio Perez, this was the most stupid and bold prediction I've ever made in my life, because I predicted Sergio Perez in Red Bull to finish 9th, where he actually finished 3rd, 6 places ahead of where I predicted him to be. Because Sergio Perez, those wins in Monaco and Singapore are just so iconic that it gave him a lot of points, but still could not beat Leclerc due to what happened in Brazil, which I shall not talk about for the sake of my Red Bull fans watching this video. Lance Stroll, I don't know how I got this. Lance Stroll, 10th. He finished 5 places back in 15th. We know how Lance Stroll is. I don't need to elaborate further. Pierre Gasly, 11th place. Well, Gasly just didn't perform well in that AlphaTauri, and the AlphaTauri didn't perform well in the hands of Gasly, but he finished 14th, which was not that great, if you're honest. Valtteri Bottas, I predicted him to finish 12th, and he finished 10th. So at least he moved up a few places, but not a lot. But that Alfa Romeo was quite good in certain races. I'll talk about Bahrain. Just a lot of races, the Alfa Romeo was such a good car. Yuki Tsunoda, I predicted him to finish 13th. He finished 17th. Oh my word, that is not good. Yuki boy, I really do not know what happened there. Fernando Alonso, I predicted him to finish 14th because that's his driver number. He finished in 9th place. Nice predictions there from me. Don't know how that even turned out to be. His teammate Esteban Ocon, who we had many incidents with in the season, even off track until now, he finished in 8th position, which is fairly bad for me because I predicted him to finish in a very bad place at the back. And a lot of you will be surprised if you didn't watch that video of my predictions. A lot of you will be surprised about who's next on this list. Nicholas Latifi, 16th position. I mean, I don't need to say much about that. That is a 20th place for the GOAT, for Nicholas Latifi. Mick Schumacher, I predicted him to finish 17th. He actually was higher than that by 1 place. He finished in 16th position. You know, the Haas wasn't that great in the season. In Bahrain, they had a good time. And scoring their first points. Mick Schumacher scoring his first points in Silverstone. It was a good time for him. It was a good time for him to score his first points in Formula 1. Alexander Albon, I predicted him to finish 18th. He was a bit lower than that. He finished 19th position. At least he finished ahead of his teammate. That's a good thing. Guan Yu Zhou, or Zhou Guan Yu, however you want to say it. I predicted him to finish 19th. Good job by the rookie to not be 19th. He was 18th. No difference really, if you're honest. Now, of course, I'm sure a lot of you knew what happened back in early March with the whole Russia and Ukraine, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I'm sure a lot of you heard about that issue. And that caused Nikita Mazepin to be dropped or given the boot by Haas. And well, if you watch that video, you know that I didn't really make a prediction about the second Haas driver because there was no second Haas driver. So, down at 20th place, I've had to put Kevin Magnussen because there was no bloody second driver for Haas. So Kevin Magnussen did well to finish 13th. That is a huge improvement, honestly. And kudos to him. He did extremely well, Kevin Magnussen. Now, constructors. Oh, this one was juicy, and this one was very juicy, honestly. Mercedes, I predicted them to win the constructors. No, they didn't. They were the second losers. They finished, yes, they were the second losers. They finished third. Ferrari, I predicted them to finish second, and that is where they bloody finished. I predicted somehow McLaren to finish third. They finished in 5th position. Like I've said, the McLaren wasn't that good, and neither were the other Mercedes-powered cars. Red Bull, 4th place. I don't know where the hell I got this from, but they won the title. We don't need to say much about that, just to save time. Aston Martin, 5th. Where the hell did I get this from, honestly? Aston Martin finished in 7th position. Somehow, they finished ahead of AlphaTauri. I don't know how that happened, but speaking of AlphaTauri, actually, they finished 9th because that car was just terrible. That's, I think, the worst AlphaTauri or / Toro Rosso I've ever seen in this modern era of Formula 1. AlphaTauri is supposed to be in the midfield, not at the back. That's disappointing. But I hope they'll be back next season. Alpine, 7th place. They did well to finish 4th. That Alpine was as unreliable as a Land Rover or Range Rover, whatever. So at least they finished 4th ahead of McLaren, which is a W and instead of an L, because that Alpine squad took a few L's throughout that season. Sao Paulo as well. Alfa Romeo, I predicted them to finish 8th because Alfa Romeo has not been that fast in recent years, but they finished 6th, which is very good for Alfa Romeo, and let's hope they can continue climbing up the order next season. Williams, 9th place. Where the hell did I get this from? I don't really know. They finished dead last. Do I need to elaborate further? Nope. Haas have actually done well because they scored 37 more points than they did last year, because last year they didn't even score points at all. So kudos to Haas, they did very well. 37 points, combined Schumacher and Magnussen, those two did extremely well to get points and get Haas to finish 8th, which means they were not last. You just love to see it for Haas. They did extremely well through the season, and let's hope that in 2020, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, whatever, link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and see you guys next time. Adios.